Namaskar, all you beautiful souls. This is me, Neha Goyal from Neha Goyal Dream Reading, and I welcome you all to the first day of the 21-day 21 ways, in which I will be putting across every day one way in order to transform your life. These ways will be easy ways, something which you can do on a day-to-day basis. Today, nature has given you a lot of time which you can spend on yourself. So all those things which you were going through in the past, where you were being occupied because of work and various other things, to some extent for a lot of us, it has been eased out. And what an opportunity that is for all of us to connect with ourselves. So going by that, from today we begin 21 days, 21 ways of transforming our life. For me, I am Neha Goyal. I'm a transformation coach, a practicing neuro-linguistic programming session taker. I'm also a tarot reader, a numerologist, and a DNA astrologer. Now, the topic that I wanted to speak about today was, this is an expert which, as all of you, I have always been interested in knowing that how can I make my life a little more easier, such that if there is a concept that I need to learn, or if there is something that I need to know which will enhance and broaden my brain concepts, how can I do that? Basically, how can I make my life easier? What could be those tips and tricks which I can include in my life, such that eventually, along with my qualification, I can offer it to all of you beautiful souls. Now, by the virtue of which I wanted to share one of my experiences. I was reading a particular story which I wanted to put across to you. And this is a story which comes in the beginning of Bhagavad Purana, Bhagavad Gita. Now, in this story, Ved Vyas is speaking with Narad Muni. Basically, what he is saying is that in this Kali Yuga, everybody is so ignorant. There are so many books that I have written. There is so much that I speak about in terms of philosophy. There is immense amount of granthas that I have written, meditations that I have put across for people. But still, there is depression. And still there are people who are suffering. Still there are people who are killing each other, who are violent. Narad Muni, I really don't know what to do. Narad Muni, he answers Vedavyas saying that basically what you are doing is, even though your intentions are in the right path, but you are just making things very complicated. The kind of philosophies that you are putting across have truth in them, but also do understand that every person or every being is at different stages of their understanding. Even though what you're wanting to put across is something which can enhance somebody's life, but it might not be able to enhance everybody's life because each one is at a different stage of their understanding. Now, Ved Vyas, being a very intelligent rishi that he is, he understood this factor. But then again, he went into a little, he took a back seat and he said, Narad Muni, what can I do then? Narad Muni says that make it simpler for the masses, for everybody to understand. So how can I do this, Narad Muni, he asks. Narad Muni says that do it by your talent of telling stories. Because the one aspect of stories is that each one understands it to the best of their ability. Every time, in every stage of your life, the story that you will hear, you will basically get a different message out of it. And therefore, something which will work for everybody is putting your wisdom or whatever you want to put across in as simple a story as you possibly can, and then leave it for everybody to take its fruit as in how they are ready to take its fruits. So this really excited Ved Vyas. And so came the innumerable stories that have been created all across our culture. innumerable stories which have been created, in fact, not just in Indian culture, but across all cultures. It doesn't matter which part of the world you belong to, wherever you are from, you have heard some story or the other. For a lot of us, we have been brought up, if not on mythological stories, then on stories from our grandmother, isn't it? Or from our elders. We all have a culture of learning through stories. Now, going forward on the first day of this 21 days, 21 ways, my first way of making all of us understand something is through stories. The story that I want to further present to you is of this person called Brihad. Now, this is a story which once again comes from the Puranas. And all of us are open. I request you all to stay tuned till the end of this story. It's a very interesting story. And do write in the comment section at every stage, what do you understand out of this story? Because each of you are intelligent and each of you just might take across a different message which is important for you at this given moment. Now, the story, as I said, is coming through this person called Brihad, which is based on being Brahma, the creator, and the writer of each of our destiny. Now, it is said in our culture that Brahma is the writer of each of our destiny. But the fact is that this destiny, up till the point he comes to writing it, is not even known to Brahma. Basically, what he does is that he picks up the pen and the story is written in the sutures of the skull of a human being. If you look at the brain, the waves that you will see in the brain, those are the sutures. All that Brahma does is picks up the pen and starts writing it, and then it is for the pen to decide the destiny which is to be written. Destiny of each person depends upon their past deeds, their past karmas, or whatever it is that they want to learn or they have to be put across in terms of lessons in their life to come. Now, just by the virtue of some series of events, Brihad happens to be in one of those destiny writing sessions. These destinies were being written for the two kids of his own guru. But my friends, these destinies were horrible, terrible, the worst that you could think of destiny. These were being written for a boy and the girl of Brihad's guru. As far as the boy is concerned, he was supposed to have a really bad destiny, which means that he was supposed to live a life in poverty. All that which was promised to him was a sack of rice and a buffalo. That's it. No matter what he does, this is what has been promised to this person in his destiny. And that of the girl was even worse. She was supposed to get or live her life by selling her body. She was going to be in a local prostitution scene where she would only earn enough to feed her for a day, and the next day she will have to sell her body once again. Now, can you believe Brihad's feelings when he hears or when he sees or when he comes to know that this is the destiny of two little children, that too of somebody who belongs to or who is the children of his guru who has never done anything wrong in his known capacity, who is very kind and who is very, very, very generous in terms of giving out his wisdom. He has never harmed anybody. His children were going to have such a terrible destiny. This really pains Brihad. He goes on a journey of trying to figure that what is that way in which he can help these two people. It takes him 20 years, a lot of hidden trials, a lot of learning at his own level. At the end of 10 years, he still doesn't have an answer. At the end of 15 years, can you believe 15 years dedicated to trying to figure out how he can help these two kids? Still no answer. At the end of 20 years, however, he comes across something in his meditation, and something which will really help all of us to understand at this particular point. That something is that when it comes to destiny, it is something which is written and something which has to happen. But how you live your destiny is up to you. What actions you take while your destiny is being playing out is up to you. You might have often heard of this word or this sentence called free will choices. So something of that sort. So the destiny is written in stone, but what you make out of it is up to you. Now this really made him happy, though he still doesn't know how is he going to use this in the life of these two people. But still, it was an understanding because it came to him in meditation. He believed it and he went about looking for these two, the boy and the girl. He first finds the boy. And as Brahma had predicted or written in his destiny of the boy was living a life of poverty. He was basically taking whatever he was making on this buffalo, selling it and only getting as much as he could feed his family. So this is all that he was doing. They were living day-to-day life and they were really living in very, very intense poverty, one day at a time. Now Brihat went to him and he said, I can help you in living through your destiny if you do what I ask you to do. So of course, for any person who is living in these kind of conditions, this boy was also really keen on knowing that how is it that I can change my circumstances. Brihat says, now this is what we have to try. Tomorrow, whatever you get out of selling, whatever products that you are selling, what you have to do is that you have to go and buy vegetables and create food with the one sack of rice that you have daily, and you have to feed everybody, including yourself. But you have to make sure that nothing of it is left. Because if there is anything which is left, then destiny will feel that anyways you only deserve one sack of rice and the buffalo, then not to give you more. And you have to sell the buffalo also. So you have to sell the buffalo, buy some food, make food and finish the entire sack of rice also and feed it to everybody. This scared the boy because and in fact it took Brihat a lot of time to convince the boy after looking at the solution also. Because what happens for people who stay in extreme poverty, day-to-day living is kind of tough, and such suggestion can make them insecure. But finally Brihat was able to convince him. So this time the boy sells his buffalo and whatever food he gets, he prepares it with the rice. He feeds as many people as he can and also his family. In fact, now with the food he had, for the first time, all of his family was able to have a stomach full. So this is one day story. Night comes. Brihat is petrified. He's really scared. What he is thinking is that I have suggested them and they've done it also. But what if tomorrow, what will happen of them tomorrow? They're going to come on the road and they will not have anything to feed. Oh my God, have I done something really terrible? How are these people going to survive? Anyways, so having a sleepless night, suffering what he is suffering, the next day comes. This boy, as he was used to, he goes to fetch his buffalo. The buffalo is not there. Obviously, he had forgotten, but the fact was that he had sold that buffalo the day prior. Isn't it? For a second, his heart sinks. But then he looks around. And from the corner of his eyes, he could see that there was a buffalo there. And right next to the buffalo was a sack of rice. Yes. See, it was written in his destiny that no matter what happens, he will always be provided that one sack of rice and the buffalo. So irrespective of what he does, he will still have that buffalo and he will still have a sack of rice. So now that he's every day provided with it, he every day does this thing, which is that he sells the buffalo, buys food and makes food for the entire family and for whoever he can feed, distributes it across and feed himself, and every day they have a full stomach. This cycle goes on and on and on, and he starts to live a good life. Brihat sticks around for some time just to see that everything is fine, and then he moves on in the search of the girl. Now, when he finds the girl, as was written in her destiny, she was staying in a prostitution house and she was living a really terrible life. What I did forget to tell you in the beginning was that what was written in the girl's destiny is that she will have to sell her body. The only thing that she is ever entitled to is one pearl necklace, which is going to stay with her every day. Okay? So one pearl necklace was her promise. Now when Brihat meets the girl, he explains to her that I am the disciple of your father and I'm here to help you and I'm really sorry about your condition, but I think that there is something that we can do together and, we can come out of this. I can help you in coming out of it. It was much easier to convince this girl because literally she was living a much more terrible life. Don't imagine, but it is really humiliating to be living your life by selling your body on an everyday basis. So, what Brihat suggests to this girl is, if it is written in your destiny that you will sell your body, that's what you would do. But this time, we are increasing your price. We are making it go way up. Your price for selling your body is one pearl necklace. And only that person can buy you who can give you a pearl necklace. So when it comes to this girl, she tries it on this particular night. She shuts her doors and whoever comes, whichever boy comes, she tells him that the price for me on my body is one pearl necklace. If you can afford it, that's fine. Otherwise, bye-bye. In the beginning, she feels very empowered. She feels that finally she has this authority of saying no. But as the night moves on, she gets very scared because up till now, there is nobody who can really afford a pearl necklace. What will she do? She is petrified. She doesn't know what to do. Brihat, on the other hand, knew because he had the experience with the boy that something will happen. And that's exactly what happens. Just when the night was about to end, a young boy knocks at her door and offers her a pearl necklace. Her destiny has been approved. She now has a pearl necklace. Next day, Brihat comes to her and says that this is your routine now. You will sell your body only to the boy who gives you a pearl necklace. And in the entire town, this is the only boy who can afford to give you a pearl necklace every day. So basically, you're selling your body only to one person. But the shart is that what you have to do is that you have to sell this pearl necklace, and whatever money comes out of it, you have to go out and help the poor in whatever they need. And you have to make sure that you don't leave any amount with yourself. So everything that you get, you have to utilize it in helping the poor. But she does that. They continue to do that. And she has gotten into a cycle which is serving her. Every night this boy comes with a pearl necklace, and every next day she sells that pearl necklace. Whatever money she gets, she helps out the poor as much as possible, and she helps herself also in sustaining a good minimalistic life. And now she is starting to live a life of dignity also, because her body now belongs to only one person. So this is how the destiny rolls out to her. She's still selling her body. She is still getting the pearl necklace. But the entire experience of it has changed. Brihat is very happy. He says, okay, bye-bye, my work is done. I will leave tomorrow. Now the next day, by chance, he wakes up much earlier. Like every day where he was waking up at 4 o'clock, this day he wakes up much earlier. It's still night. So he's like, why to delay? If I've woken up, let me be on my way. So he leaves the house of the girl. And while he is on his way, he sees that there is a man who has a hunched back. He is coming from the opposite direction. He has a sack of rice on his back. He has a pearl necklace in his hand, and next to him is a buffalo which is walking with this man. So guys, do you know who this man was? Any guesses? Anybody who can write into the comment section? What do you think? Who do you think this man is? Who is coming from the other direction with the sack of rice, buffalo and a pearl necklace? Anybody? This man is Brahma. Brahma is literally suffering because of this wretched guy, Brihat. Exactly, yes, Brahma. And why is he suffering? Because he has to fulfill the destiny of these two people. In fact, he has hunched his back because every day he has to carry this one full bori of rice on his back. He's balding because of that. He has to go to the depths of the sea every time, fetch the pearls and make this pearl necklace, and so on and so forth. And while this guy was leaving, while he saw Brahma coming from the other direction, this guy, Brihat, thinks to himself, wow, I should be a politician. But basically, just imagine, this is the story. So many messages are hidden in this one story. And I'm absolutely sure that for each one of us, the takeaway is going to be different. It's going to be unique to our own circumstances. It's going to be unique to what we understand in our present scenario of brain concepts. But let me share with you what is it that I understood out of this entire story. In fact, this story has the propensity of having the wisdom of the entire Vedas and the universe, if you really come to deeply think about it. Now, where this story began, which is that Brahma is writing the destiny in the sutures of the skull as a mindset coach, as a transformation coach. I speak a lot about the brain concepts. Those neuro pathways which are formed, which basically decide your habits. Your destiny, my friends, are nothing but those habits which you are born with and which you grow up with. Going further, or what is called as your sanskaras, which reside in the sutures of your brain. And they are changeable. Going further, as the story moves on, one of the biggest messages that we get is that yes, destiny is written. And probably it is written in stone, because you will get what is written in your destiny. But how you live it out and your actions while living it will decide your experience of your destiny. That is a huge takeaway, specifically in this period. What is happening. Believe it or not, each one of us who are currently living, you, me, everybody who is living right now had written it in our destiny. It is there, it is happening. You can't deny it. How we live it through will decide the next stage of our life. right? And not just in this time, this holds true for our entire experience of life. For example, for me, as an entire experience of me being Neha Goyal, yes, there are a few things which are written which are bound to happen. How I live it through and what I make out of it is something which I can still control. And that, my friends, is called the free will choices. That is the reason why you can seek somebody's help like a Brihat for your transformation coach or tarot or numerology, all these things, or whatever it is. Also read stories. My suggestion to you will be that go ahead, read these stories. There are a lot of mythologists who are writing these stories and speaking about them on YouTube. In fact, I got to know about this story from YouTube as well. So go on YouTube and explore these stories. They have so many messages, trust me. So imagine in such a simple story, they have actually provided a very, very tough concept and made it very easy to understand for a layman like me and all of us. Then the third message that I get is breaking of the pattern is very important. If you or I or any of us want to make certain changes in our life, we cannot do that if we continue to do the same thing in a cycle as we were previously doing. So we cannot keep doing the same thing but expect a different result. To expect a different result, we have to break the pattern, as those two kids did under the guidance of Brihat. Is it tough? Absolutely. That is what we mentioned, that for both the kids and including for Brihat, it was really petrifying a night before to even imagine giving away everything. For somebody who is staying in poverty, for somebody who is selling her body on an everyday basis, for giving everything, thinking that things will turn around. But that is what breaking of a pattern does. You break a pattern and then, my friends, you move ahead. And then, my friends, you get a different result. Right? Will you agree? Then the next message that I took away from it is that remember the point where Brihat was walking away from the house of the girl and he saw Brahma coming in. What I took away from it is that the entire universe conspires to make things happen for you if you take the right actions in life. Even if you might be feeling that how tough it is, why will such a thing happen? I can't believe that I can be provided for. I just cannot have this much, whatever it is, whatever the blockage is. But if you take an action towards breaking that pattern, the entire universe will conspire to make it happen for you. These are a few messages that I could think of while I came to know about this story. I am absolutely sure that you all also are brimming up with your unique messages. Is there a message that you have, that you get from this particular story? Please write in the comment section. Let's open each of our brain concepts. Let's break this pattern of thinking that, I don't know, I didn't understand. You tell me, no, you do understand. You do have a message. Whatever it is, do not think that it is stupid or it doesn't make sense or whatever it is. I am very sure that you have a message. You took a message from this story also. Please write that in the comment section. Basically, the point that I'm trying to make is, in 21 days, 21 ways, the first way is story. Go ahead, read these stories, whichever story it is. It doesn't have to be mythology, it doesn't have to be Upanishads, it doesn't have to be Vedas, it can be whatever it is that you are reading, and try and find out the hidden message in it. Try and find out that what is the author trying to tell you. What is the message that the author is trying to put across to you? Once you start doing that, a lot of things will start revealing to you. A lot of life's hacks will start revealing them to you. The reason why I mostly recommend are these ancient stories, because these have been written by very, very well-informed, rounded people for purpose. Like in the past, people used to write stories with a purpose. So that is the reason why I really recommend ancient stories. And that's what I wanted to put across. Thank you so much for joining it. It has been a pleasure. Stay tuned tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. India Standard Time. I will see you all again. 21 days, 21 ways with the second way for transformation. Share this video on your respective timelines, wherever you're watching me. I will upload this on YouTube also. Share it across with your friends. Let's help each other. These 21 days do not have to be days of suffering. Let's grow together. Let's transform together. So you can join me on my YouTube channel, Neha Goyal Stream Reading. You can join me on my Instagram handle, Neha Goyal, NEHAAGOYAL, or on my Facebook page, Neha Goyal Stream Reading. All the links are in the description below. And stay tuned